Namaskar. Today we are joined by Shri Sanjay Garg, Director General of Bureau of Indian Standard. Garg साहब, आपका बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है.
Thank you.
BIS is as old as independent India. Take us through the journey that BIS has gone through in this 75 years of its existence. What was it when it started? What is it now? And where do you see it 5 years, 10 years from now?
As you rightly said that the BIS is older than the independent India. BIS, actually it was ISI there those days when it started, Indian Standards Institution. It was started in January 1947 and it was started as a society, and then 1950s somewhere we started also certification process, and in 1986 I think the ISI name was changed to BIS, and then it became a statutory organization. Like uske pehle it was a society. When the BIS Act came, which was passed by the Parliament, then it becomes formally a Government of India statutory body. Before that it was like an autonomous society kind of a structure. And 1986 it became a statutory body. Then in 2016 the BIS Act was amended, and the new act came, BIS Act 2016, and through this act BIS was formally declared as a national standards body. Uske pehle though it was a standard making body, but there was no formal declaration as such. So because in the international organizations like ISO and IEC, every country's national standards body is represented. So there was a requirement that government has to designate some body as a national standards body. So in 2016 we were declared as a national standards body, and 2021 we also started the hallmarking, gold jewelry, although hallmarking started much earlier, but it was voluntary basis. Whoever wants to do it can do it. But 2021 it was started on a mandatory basis. One must appreciate that the requirement of standards is very, very important when the economy grows, when the country grows, when industrialization increases, and consumer trust and general interests of the public are also protected through standards. Technology upgradation keeps happening. So journey of the BIS has been a long journey.
Now people shop at e-commerce. But there's a factor of trust. That trust, how do I trust the product that I'm buying from?
BIS has also made a standard on guidelines for e-commerce. So those guidelines are basically very not product specific. Those are generic. Like when you put a product on the e-commerce site, what details you have to, a customer should get the product description, इसका ingredient क्या है, इसका जो है expiry क्या है, इसका different parameters which are strength क्या है and all that. So those guidelines have been published by BIS, though I don't think they have been made mandatory so far, but there is some certification process in the other ministries which requires some kind of permission or licensing for e-commerce sites. So I hope they may be enforcing them. हमारा जो BIS का system है, we have a app called BIS Care app, और हमारा जो ISI mark रहता है उसके नीचे एक CML नंबर लिखा रहता है जो उसका लाइसेंस का नंबर होता है. सो BIS केयर ऐप फ्रीली गूगल प्ले स्टोर पे अवेलेबल रहता है, और मेरे ख्याल से उसके करीब 1.5 से 2 करोड़ उसके डाउनलोड्स हैं आज की तारीख में, तो काफ़ी लोग उसको यूज़ कर रहे हैं. तो उस BIS केयर ऐप में अगर आप वो CML नंबर डालेंगे तो उसमें सारा डिटेल जो है वो आ जाता है उस लाइसेंस का, उस प्रोडक्ट का और इसका
कि सर्टिफाइड है नहीं है,
हाँ,
आप पता चला।
अभी हम उसमें BIS केयर ऐप को भी थोड़ा और एनलार्ज कर रहे हैं. वी आर वर्किंग ऑन दैट टू मेक इट AI बेस्ड, AI चैटबॉट बेस्ड की, मतलब उसमें ओरल भी हो सकता है कि somebody can speak in any language, all whatever 15-16 major Indian languages, and it can get replies through the app. So उसको और we are enhancing its capability. तो हॉलमार्किंग में एक जैसे आपका आधार नंबर होता है ना, इसी तरह एक यूनिक आईडी होता है जिसको हम HUID कहते हैं, हॉलमार्क यूनिक आईडी नंबर. तो अगर आप BIS केयर ऐप में वो डालेंगे HUID नंबर, तो वो आ जाता है कि ये ज्वेलरी क्या है, उसका वेट कितना है, ये है वो है, उसका डिटेल जो है उसका कितने कैरेट की है, कितनी प्योरिटी है, क्या है, तो वो आ जाता है.
और अगर किसी ज्वेलरी में वो नंबर नहीं है तो मतलब
वो फिर हॉलमार्क नहीं है. दैट मीन्स दैट ज्वेलरी पीस इज नॉट हॉलमार्क्ड.
So every jewelry that you are seeing,
not every jewelry. You see, in the whole country so far, hallmarking gold jewelry has been mandated only in around 385 districts, not all districts, because some of the districts don't have infrastructure for doing hallmarking, and mainly hilly areas, northeastern areas, and some areas. So जहाँ जहाँ भी mandatory है in those 385 districts, वहाँ no jeweler can sell jewelry without hallmarking.
Not hallmarking. और अगर बेच रहा है तो इलीगल काम कर रहा
वो
है.
फिर इलीगल है. वो फिर हमारे लोग एनफोर्स करते हैं, दे रेड वेड करते हैं, पकड़ते हैं, केस बनाते हैं, तो वो प्रोसेस चलता रहता है.
और अगर हॉलमार्क है तो एक तरह से सिक्योरिटी है कि ये प्योर है.
मतलब उसमें प्योरिटी, देखिए प्योरिटी डिफरेंट लेवल की है. जैसे गोल्ड में 24 कैरेट है, 22 कैरेट है, 18 कैरेट है, तो कम से कम कंज्यूमर को ये एक इन्फॉर्म्ड चॉइस है. अर्लियर तो क्या होता था कि ज्वेलर ये बोल के बेच देगा कि ये 22 कैरेट है, होगा असली में 18 कैरेट, तो आपको कैसे पता चलेगा बाहर से देखने से. बट कम से कम अब ये है कि हॉलमार्किंग के साथ अगर मैं 18 कैरेट खरीद रहा हूँ तो मुझे पता है कि ये 18 कैरेट ही है.
We are building world-class classrooms for children, for school children and college children. Besides that, we are also doing lots of road work, infrastructure work. But how do you ensure that there's a coordination between the ministries so that whatever the project you make today, they don't get obsolete in 5 years or 4 years from now? What is it? Was it that you are doing to ensure that the products last longer than the lifetime?
See, construction of the buildings and even the roads mostly lies in the domain of the state government. So central government does not actually directly regulate it, but we have, you must have heard, we used to have, now we have revised it, this is National Building Code. So which is basically a code of practices for all the construction activities, whether it is school buildings, university buildings, hospitals, hotels, multi-story buildings, all the construction activities, and including their technical parameters like structural design, fire safety parameters, and plumbing services, electrical services. This is a book of around 2,500 pages, and this covers right from the planning of the building till the maintenance and life cycle, the whole of the life cycle. We have recently revised it about a month back only, very, very recently. And we have renamed it National Building Construction Standards 2026. Earlier it used to be called National Building Code 2016. So that standards or the code prescribes how a building should be made, about the strength, what kind of foundation or what kind of strength it should have, so that if an earthquake comes, it should not get damaged. So those standards are there, but what happens, as I said, that because it is a state subject, so we can't make it mandatory. So various state governments have adopted it under their own building rules and bylaws and municipal rules. So some states have adopted it fully, some states have adopted it in parts, some states have adopted only a few parts of it, so like that. But we have made the standards and the guidelines for a particular building. Schools and all, like in various government schemes, like earlier there used to be Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and other government schemes. There, because it was a central government scheme, so central government that time I remember had prescribed that these buildings will be quality audited by a third party inspection agency. Okay. So some reputed third party agencies used to go to the field and monitor and audit these school, particularly school buildings, against the building standards. हमने एक स्टैंडर्ड बनाया हुआ है कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स के ऊपर.
अच्छा.
अब आपने देखा होगा इतनी घटनाएं होती रहती हैं. पहले कुछ साल पहले कुछ स्टूडेंट्स वो पानी वानी भरने से कहीं करोल बाग में या कहीं दे एक्सपायर्ड. तो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए, कैसी फैसिलिटीज़ होनी चाहिए, बच्चों को क्या मिलना चाहिए, प्रॉपर लाइटिंग, वेंटिलेशन, जाने आने का रास्ता, सेफ्टी, हाइजीन, ऑल दैट. तो अब ये स्टैंडर्ड तो हमने बना दिया है, बट वो इट हैज़ टू बी यूज्ड बाय स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स एंड दी. तो हम लोग इस चीज़ पे काफ़ी, क्योंकि हमारा खुद का ये मोटिव रहता है कि हम जब स्टैंडर्ड बना रहे हैं तो उसका यूज़ तो हो ना, और उसका यूज़ तभी होगा जब हम लोगों को अवेयर करेंगे, लोगों को बताएंगे.
What are the standards that you're framing for water so that it potable water but drinkable, which is absolutely clean and hygienic, reaches the people? What are you doing about that?
BIS has already formed a standard for pipe drinking water supply, जिसमें एंड टू एंड पूरा, जैसे उसके जो जितने डिवाइसेस उसमें लगते हैं, पंप्स हैं, चाहे वॉल्व्स हैं, चाहे पाइप हैं, चाहे जो भी मटेरियल है, टैप्स है, उस सब का तो है ही. उसके अलावा एंड टू एंड के पानी कहाँ से आएगा, कैसे उसका प्यूरिफिकेशन होगा, कैसे सप्लाई, कितना लीकेज होगा, बिकॉज लीकेज इज़ अनदर बिग इशू. तो वो स्टैंडर्ड्स का सारा पार्ट है. एंड इवन पानी का क्वालिटी, उसमें जो कोलाई बैक्टीरिया या क्या जो भी होता है उसका कितना परसेंटेज तक टॉलरेंस लिमिट है, वो सब चीज़ें. तो पूरा एक एंड टू एंड पूरे वाटर सप्लाई सिस्टम का हमारा एक स्टैंडर्ड बना हुआ है. और इसमें ऑलरेडी आई एम हैप्पी टू शेयर कि इसमें ऑलरेडी लाइसेंसिंग शुरू हो गया है.
अच्छा.
हाँ, सम बेंगलोर अर्बन वाटर सप्लाई जो उनका कॉरपोरेशन है, उसने ऑलरेडी इसका लाइसेंस हमसे ले लिया है.
And they are implementing those standards.
They are implementing those standards. और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर सप्लाई जो है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में, उन्होंने भी हमसे ये स्टैंडर्ड मांगा है. तो दे आर ऑल्सो स्टडीइंग. So maybe in whatever schemes they are implementing in the field in the states, they will also in future likely enforce those standards. And बेंगलोर ने जैसे इंडिपेंडेंटली लाइसेंस लिया है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है कि आगे आने वाले समय में और भी जो एटलीस्ट मेजर सिटीज़ के जो कॉरपोरेशंस हैं और जो वाटर सप्लाई बॉडीज़ हैं, they will take that certification.
ये वाटर स्टैंडर्ड्स अभी कंपलसरी नहीं है.
नहीं, वाटर स्टैंडर्ड अलग है. ये क्या है कि पूरा होल सप्लाई सिस्टम का स्टैंडर्ड है. वाटर के स्टैंडर्ड तो जो है ना वो जनरली हमारे नहीं होते हैं, क्योंकि वो FSSAI और जो फूड बॉडीज़ हैं वो हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ ने भी कुछ स्टैंडर्ड वगैरह प्रिस्क्राइब कर रखे हैं कि पोर्टेबल वाटर में क्या और वो सब होना चाहिए. तो वो तो अलग है. हमारा ये जो स्टैंडर्ड है ये पूरा एक वाटर सप्लाई स्कीम का, कि भाई जैसे टैंक बनता है तो अब वो टैंक का क्वालिटी क्या होगा, टैंक की कैपेसिटी, वाटर को प्यूरिफाइड वहाँ टैंक में रखने के लिए आपको क्या करना है. इट इज़ होल मैनेजमेंट.
And Bangalore is the first city which has adopted it. And you hope other cities would also follow?
Should come because it is one of the very very important area, and waterborne diseases and waterborne issues जो है वो बढ़ रहे हैं आगे चल के. और वाटर इज़ प्रेशियस. उसमें लीकेज का भी एक क्राइटेरिया है कि आपको जो सिस्टम मेंटेन करना है उसमें पानी का लीकेज नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज पानी का वेस्टेज नहीं होना चाहिए.
So this will actually stop wastage.
Stop wastage. That's a very important aspect of it.
BIS has recently come up with standardization of medical bills, which is a
Yeah.
very remarkable move by BIS. But how do you ensure the private sector? There are certain, I'm not saying all, but there are
Yeah.
certain private hospitals which do all kinds of things, inflated bills, unnecessary medication. How do you try and bring some sort of a standardization across the medical billing system, so that not just the common man but also the insurance companies that pay for those bills are assured that whatever is being billed is right the bill?
It's this standard came only very recently, I think, couple of months back, and it got a lot of media attention also. A lot of it came in the newspapers and all that. But as I said, BIS makes standards, but we can't make them mandatory. That authority is not with BIS. So that is with the concerned ministry in the government, who takes a view on this after considering a lot of issues, consulting with the stakeholders and all that. So this standard has so far not been made mandatory. Many of these private hospitals, they charge very lump sum amount. They don't disclose even the breakups of it, कि कितना लैब टेस्टिंग का कितना अमाउंट है, डॉक्टर्स विजिट, वो लमसम कुछ अपना लिख देते हैं. वो पीपल आर नॉट इवन अवेयर कि ये किस चीज़ का पैसा ले रहे हैं. तो उसकी दिशा में इट इज़ अ वेरी गुड स्टैंडर्ड. इन माय व्यू इट शुड बी एनफोर्स्ड, and we are taking it up with the concerned health authorities of the state and the central government.
We have a large aging population as well. Is BIS doing something to decide on standards for the products that the aged or the elderly people use?
We have a lot of standards on assistive products for senior citizens and other disabled people also. In fact, assistive products for personal hygiene, like toilet seats and tables and all those things. There are a lot of standards which have been published. For example, walking sticks, these wheelchairs.
Okay.
And many of these standards have also been used by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in their various guidelines and the rules, etc. And they are enforcing it also to a very, very large extent. And BIS is very actively working in. We have one of the important technical committee which looks at standards making in this area, and this is a very important upcoming area. Although right now what I am talking is about only the products, but what is another important area which is coming up is the services.
Right.
Various services for the aging population or senior citizens. Like you may be seeing now a lot of residential projects coming up for senior citizens.
Right.
Now a lot of old age homes and things like that. There are specific health services or hospitals for aged population or senior citizens. So it's a plethora of activities related to senior citizens which would need to be standardized as the times as we go forward. But as on now, we have so far focused only on various products, various devices which are being used by the aged population and senior citizens.
Is there a standout standard that you might have made which might have been really appreciated by the West and adopted by them as well? Is there something that you can that comes to your mind?
A lot of products are these days Herbal and Ayurvedic products and all everyone wants to use. You will even find in the US, Europe, all the airports you will find some Ayurvedic product, something, and there is no certification. Anybody can make anything and sell it in the name of Ayurvedic or natural or herbal or something like that. So we initiated this concept that some certification is required in this area, otherwise consumers will be cheated.
तो कहते हैं ना, भारत गाँव में बसता है. और अगर भारत को विकसित भारत बनना है 2047 तक, तो हमें अपने गाँवों को भी आगे लेके जाना है. उसी के साथ विमेन which make up for the 50% of the, or roughly 50% of the population, they also have to. So what is BIS doing to bring up standards for the rural as well as concession that they might be doing for women entrepreneurs? Can you shed some light on that?
BIS is doing a lot of outreach for the rural India, let me tell you. In the last couple of years, we have set up district level committees. So on almost 723 districts, district level committees had their meetings. And we have taken standards to even panchayat level. More than 2 lakh panchayats our people had gone, and then they have sensitized the in rural areas, panchayat people about standards that, a lot of products they are using in panchayats. For example, civil construction products like cement, sariya, wo jo lohe ka hota hai, and all those even household items. So our people have gone and sensitized them ki bhai you should use ISI mark products or the quality products. Similarly, we have also taken inputs from them ki what products you would like us to make standards. So it's a two-way. Like we have told them our standard, they have told us what is their requirement. Then we have also formed about 10,000 student clubs in the rural area schools in the entire country. And there are about 15 to 20,000 these students associated with it. And we conduct monthly quiz for them.
Okay.
Every month in the last 1 year, we have been conducting quiz for these students so that they generate some interest and awareness in the standard कि क्या होता है, इसका फ़ायदा क्या है, क्यों standard होना चाहिए. So the student clubs. Then we in the engineering colleges and IITs and NITs and IISCs, to engage students there also, we have MOUs with about 100 such institutes, and we have formed 400 student chapters there in each branch of engineering. So they are also engaged. They also should know why standards are made, what are the criteria of standards making. So in the last many years, we have, and lastly in the last World Standards Day, I think a couple of months back, we launched a specific program for women, that is SHINE. And there we are taking it to one level below. We are going to the self-help groups, women groups, and through NGOs and through our partners, we are training them. And we are making the women aware about the women related standards हैं बहुत सारे जो women use करती हैं, तो उनके standards के बारे में उनको awareness करना है और उनसे feedback लेना कि भाई what do you think, what kind of standards should be made of the. So ये जो outreach है through panchayats, through women, through students, school students, through engineering students, तो ये हम लोगों का एक बहुत बड़ा काम पिछले कुछ सालों में रहा है. और इसमें हमारे जो ब्रांच ऑफिसेस पूरे कंट्री में है, 35 के करीब ब्रांच ऑफिसेस हैं, वहाँ पे भी हमने हर ब्रांच ऑफिस में एक स्टैंडर्ड प्रमोशन ऑफिसर अपॉइंट किया है जिसका फुल टाइम काम ही यही है, आउटरीच एक्टिविटीज़ को करना और प्रचार प्रसार और लोगों को अवेयर करना, गांव-गांव तक जाना, ब्लॉक लेवल तक जाना, डिस्ट्रिक्ट. हर स्टेट में चीफ सेक्रेटरी के लेवल पे एक कमेटी बनी हुई है, तो वहाँ हम स्टेट से भी रिक्वायरमेंट लेते हैं. अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की कोई स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट है तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बताती है कि भाई हमें इस पे स्टैंडर्ड की आवश्यकता है. फिर वहाँ पे हमारे लोग बताते हैं कि ये स्टैंडर्ड हैं, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट शुड यूज़ दीज स्टैंडर्ड्स.
I want to ask you this, how is BIS shaping international standards? Is there indigenous standards that India has developed which are being adopted globally and appreciated worldwide as well?
No, India is now contributing very, very actively in the international standards development. Like, some of the traditional sectors of India, like Ayurveda and yoga. On India's proposal in the ISO, there was a separate technical committee was set up on Ayurveda and yoga, and that committee's secretariat is with BIS. So this is a very, very important area for us because, Ayurveda and yoga is traditionally India's forte. And so similarly, in textile sector, there are a couple of standards on the testing methods for color textiles, etc., which were India had proposed, and those then they became the international standards. Similarly, in spices, because spices is another stronghold of India. Historically, spices trade started from India and all that. So a lot of technical committees and standards in the fennel seeds and white and black pepper and all those spices, their testing method, their standards are proposed by India, and then the international technical committees are working on those proposals. Similarly, as I also told that AI, first this guidelines for AI system, this was also proposed by India, and then it became an international standard of ISO guidelines for AI systems. Similarly, there are other, like in the transport sector for LED display for the transport buses. This was one standard which India proposed, and then it became international standard. Let me tell you, as on now we are contributing to international standards in such a large extent that Indian experts have been nominated to about 600 technical committees of ISO and about 134 technical committees of IEC. So India now is not only standards taker or a standards adopter, but also a standard maker. And couple of years back, India didn't used to have even one secretariat of an international technical committee. Now today we have secretariats of about 14 ISO technical committees and one IEC technical committee. So we are very, very deeply engaged with the ISO and IEC on a standard making, and we are posing a lot of new items to these organizations for standard making. In fact, a lot of service sector areas are also being proposed. We have developed a standard for IoT for health.
Okay.
This blood pressure and sugar and all those, measuring how through internet these devices are connected for monitoring health. So that is another standard, which so there are a lot of interest, and people give a lot of credence to BIS and India for proposing new items and new standards.
Garg sir, it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.